They say the world is fair, don't they? That everyone gets their turn, that good things come to those who wait. Lies, wrapped in ribbons, whispered to keep us docile. I used to believe them. Oh, I really did. But belief, it's a dangerous thing when you're living in a world built on deceit. You learn the truth eventually, not all at once. No, that'd be too kind. It comes in fragments, like shards of glass piercing your skin, leaving scars you can't hide. And the truth is this: the world doesn't care about you. It never did. It never will. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? When you finally stop looking for meaning in the chaos, you realize you can create your own. You don't have to follow their rules, play their game, bow to their authority. Do you hear that silence? That deafening, oppressive silence. It's the sound of your doubts, your fears, screaming in the void. It's the weight of every failure, every misstep, every time you were told you'd never be enough. Oh, they told you that, didn't they? They smiled, they laughed, they said it wasn't personal, but it always is. When they leave you in the dark, it's personal. When they tell you to stay in your place, it's personal. But what they don't understand is that darkness isn't a prison, it's a crucible. And you, my friend, are the flame. They fear what they can't control. And you're the storm they didn't see coming. The relentless force that refuses to break, refuses to fade. They hate you because you remind them of their own weakness, their own cowardice. They'll call you names. Oh, yes, they'll say you're cruel, heartless, mad. Let them. They've never walked the path you've walked. They've never felt the ground crumble beneath their feet, never clawed their way out of the abyss with nothing but their own sheer will. You're not like them. You've never been like them. While they cling to their illusions of safety and order, you've embraced the chaos. You've learned to dance in the fire, to find strength in the very things they fear. Do you know what makes you unstoppable? It's not just your pain, your scars, your rage. No, it's your refusal to let those things define you. It's the way you take every insult, every blow, every betrayal, and turn it into fuel. They think they've won, that they've broken you, silenced you, buried you so deep you'll never rise again. But oh, how wrong they are, because you're not just surviving, you're evolving. Every scar tells a story. Every wound is a reminder of what you've endured. They tried to tear you apart, but all they did was reveal what you're truly made of. Steel, fire, a soul that refuses to bow, to break, to be anything less than extraordinary. Let them stare. Let them wonder. Let them fear what they don't understand. Because the truth is, they'll never understand. They'll never see the battles you've fought in the silence of your own mind, the nights you've spent wrestling with shadows that weren't your own. They'll never know what it's like to rise from the ashes of your own destruction, to rebuild yourself piece by jagged piece. But that's their loss, because you're not just a survivor. You're a creator, a destroyer, a force of nature that cannot be contained. They'll try, of course. They'll try to put you back in your box, to make you small, to turn you into something they can control. but they'll fail. They'll always fail. Because you've seen the truth now, haven't you? You've seen that their world, their rules, their lies, it's all a house of cards. And you're the wind. The funny thing about destruction is that it makes room for something new, something stronger, something better. And you, my friend, are the proof of that. So let them call you a villain. Let them paint you as the monster in their story. Because the truth is, monsters are just heroes who've stopped pretending. Heroes who've realized that the world doesn't need another savior. It needs a reckoning. And that's what you are. A reckoning. You didn't ask for this, did you? You didn't choose to be the storm, the fire, the shadow they can't escape. But here you are, and there's no going back. So embrace it. Embrace the darkness, the chaos, the power they fear. Let it guide you, shape you, remind you of what you've always known, that you're meant for more than this. They can't stop you. They'll try. Oh, how they'll try. But every chain they put on you only makes you stronger. Every wall they build only gives you something to tear down. They thought they'd bury you, but they didn't realize you were a seed. And now you're unstoppable. They thought you'd disappear. That time would erode your resolve, that you'd fade into the background like so many before you. But time doesn't weaken you. It sharpens you. It carves you into something they can't understand, something they can't control. They underestimated you. They saw your pain, your struggle, and thought it was weakness. But pain isn't weakness. Pain is power. It's the forge where strength is born, where resilience is tempered. And oh, how resilient you've become. They threw everything they had at you, didn't they? The lies, the betrayal, the doubt. They wanted to see you break. They wanted to watch you crumble. But you didn't. You stood your ground, even when the weight of it all threatened to crush you. You held on, even when the world screamed at you to let go. And now they don't know what to do with you, because you're still here, still standing, still fighting. They don't understand how you do it, how you keep going when everything is stacked against you. They think it's madness, think you're chasing something impossible. But what they don't see is the fire inside you, the one that refuses to be extinguished. They don't see the nights you've spent staring into the void, the battles you've fought in silence. They don't see the strength it takes to rise again, and again, and again, when every part of you is screaming to stop. But you see it, you feel it, and that's all that matters. They've built their lives on fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. But you've faced those fears. You've stared them down, walked through them, come out the other side. And now you're unstoppable. They'll never admit it, but they're terrified of you. Not because of what you've done, but because of what you represent. You're a reminder that their rules, their limits, their carefully constructed little world, it's all an illusion. They hate you because you've shattered that illusion. You've shown them that the only limits are the ones we place on ourselves, that the only rules that matter are the ones we choose to follow. And how they hate you for it. But their hate, it's meaningless. It's just noise. It doesn't touch you, doesn't faze you, because you've learned something they never will, that power isn't given. It's taken. You've taken your power piece by painful piece. You've fought for it, bled for it, sacrificed for it. And now it's yours. They'll try to take it from you. Of course they will. They'll use their lies, their manipulations, their games. But what they don't realize is that you've seen through all of it. You've seen the truth that their world isn't as solid as they pretend, that their power isn't as real as they'd like you to believe. And now you're free. Free from their lies, their rules, their expectations. Free to be who you've always been, who you were always meant to be. They'll call you names. Villain, monster, madman. Let them. Their words are just a reflection of their fear, their insecurity, their weakness. Because deep down, they know the truth. They know that you're not the villain in this story. You're not the monster they want you to be. You're the hero. Not the kind of hero they're used to, of course. Not the kind that follows the rules, that waits for permission, that plays by their game. No, you're a different kind of hero. The kind that doesn't ask for approval. The kind that doesn't wait for the world to change. The kind that changes it, no matter the cost. They'll never understand that. They'll never understand you. And that's fine, because this isn't about them. It's about you. About proving to yourself that you're more than they ever thought you could be. About taking the life you deserve, the life you fought for. They'll try to stop you. Oh, how they'll try. But every attempt, every obstacle, every attack, it only makes you stronger. They don't realize it yet, but they're not fighting against you. They're fighting against inevitability. Because you're inevitable. You're the storm they can't outrun, the fire they can't extinguish, the force they can't contain. They'll tell you to stop, to give up, to accept your place. But you won't, will you? Because you've come too far, fought too hard, sacrificed too much to stop now. This is your time, your moment. Let them fear you. Let them hate you. Let them try to tear you down, because in the end, none of it matters. The only thing that matters is the fire inside you, the one that refuses to die. And that fire, it's unstoppable. Just like you, they thought they could outlast you. That if they just ignored you long enough, you'd wither away. But what they don't understand is that silence isn't your enemy. It's your companion. You've spent years in the silence, haven't you? Listening to the echoes of your own thoughts, facing the truths they're too afraid to acknowledge. While they've hidden from themselves, you've embraced every piece of who you are, the light and the dark, and that terrifies them, because you are everything they've tried to suppress. You are chaos in a world that craves control. You are freedom in a society that demands conformity. You are the mirror they refuse to look into, because when they do, their own individuals will see their inequalities staring back them. Oh, they'll never admit it. They'll call you reckless, dangerous, even evil. But you know the truth, don't you? Their words are just masks for their fear. They don't hate you for what you've done. They hate you for what you've shown them. You've shown them that their comfort is a lie, that their safety is an illusion. You've shown them that power isn't handed down. It's seized, taken with bloody hands and an unbreakable will. And that's what they fear most, your will. Because while they cling to their fragile stability, you've embraced the chaos. You've learned to move through the storm, to let it fuel you instead of breaking you. And now, you're not just surviving the storm, you are the storm. Do you feel it? That pulse in your chest, that fire in your veins. It's the part of you they can't touch, can't control. It's the part of you that refuses to bow, refuses to break, refuses to settle for anything less than everything. They'll try to extinguish that fire. They'll try to drown it in doubt, smother it with their rules and expectations. But they don't realize that the more they push, the brighter it burns. They don't understand that every insult, every betrayal, every setback, they're not weakening you, they're forging you. Oh, how they'll regret it. Because while they were busy trying to hold you down, you were rising. While they were laughing at your struggles, you were sharpening your edges. And now you're something they can't ignore, can't deny, can't defeat. You're not the person they thought you were. You're not the broken soul they could manipulate, the lost dreamer they could dismiss. You're something else entirely. You're unstoppable. They can't see it yet, but they will. When you stand before them, unshaken, unyielding, they'll realize what they've done. They'll realize that every time they tried to destroy you, they were only making you stronger. And oh, how it will haunt them. Because deep down, they know they could never endure what you've endured. They could never walk your path, face your demons, rise from your ashes. They'll look at you and see everything they could have been if only they'd been brave enough to try. But you didn't just try. You fought. You clawed. You burned. And now you're a force they can't ignore. They'll never admit it, but they respect you. How could they not? You've done what they couldn't. You've faced the darkness and come out the other side, not as a victim, but as a warrior. They'll hate you for it, of course, but their hate is just a sign of their weakness. Because while they're consumed by envy and fear, you're moving forward. While they're clinging to their illusions, you're building something real. And they can't stop you. They'll try, they'll try. They'll throw everything they have at you. Lies, traps, even their own desperation. But it won't be enough, because you've already won. Not because they've lost, but because you've found something they never will, your true self. And that self, it's unbreakable. Let them call you names. Let them spread their lies. Let them try to tear you down. Because in the end, it won't matter. The truth is on your side, and the truth is this: you are more than they'll ever understand. You're not the villain of this story. You're not the hero either. You're something beyond their comprehension, something they'll never be able to label or define. You are freedom. You are chaos. You are the embodiment of everything they fear and everything they wish they could be. And you're just getting started. So keep going. Keep rising. Keep rising. Let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them try to stop you, because you've already proven that nothing and no one can hold you back. You've embraced the darkness, not as your enemy, but as your ally. You've turned your pain into power, your scars into strength, your losses into lessons. And now you're unstoppable. This is your time, your story. And oh, what a story it will be. They'll never admit it, but they've been watching you. Every step you've taken, every choice you've made, they've been keeping tabs. Not because they care, no. They're watching because they're waiting for you to stumble, to fall, to fail. But here's the part they didn't anticipate. You've already stumbled. You've already fallen, more times than they can count. And every time you've risen, stronger, sharper, more determined than before. They can't fathom it, can they? The idea that failure isn't the end for you, but a new beginning. For them, failure is a wall. For you, it's a ladder. Let them wonder how you do it. Let them try to figure out your secret. Because the truth is, there's no secret. It's just you. Your will, your fire, your refusal to stay down. They'll call it madness. They'll say you're obsessed, unhinged, dangerous. But what they don't understand is that the world doesn't change with half measures. It doesn't bend to the timid or the hesitant. It bends to those who refuse to break. And oh, how you've refused. They don't see the weight you've carried, the battles you've fought in the silence of your own mind. They don't see the nights you've spent clawing your way out of despair, the mornings you've faced with nothing but sheer determination to keep moving forward. But that's fine. Let them stay blind. Let them underestimate you. It only makes your victory sweeter, because make no mistake, victory is coming. Not the kind of victory they dream of, the shallow, fleeting kind that crumbles at the first sign of trouble. No, your victory is deeper, more enduring. It's the kind that comes from knowing you've faced the worst and come out stronger. They don't have that strength. They never will. And that's why they'll never understand you. They'll never understand how you can keep going, keep fighting, keep pushing when everything seems stacked against you. But you don't do it for them, do you? You do it for yourself, for the person you were, for the person you're becoming, for the future you're carving out of stone with your bare hands. They don't see the vision in your mind, the fire in your heart, the unyielding resolve in your soul. And even if they did, they'd never believe it. But that's their problem, not yours. Because you don't need their approval, their understanding, their validation. You've already found everything you need within yourself. That's what terrifies them the most. They live their lives chasing something: power, money, status, approval. But you don't chase. You create, you take. They'll never admit it, but they envy you. They envy your freedom, your strength, your unbreakable spirit. They envy the way you've turned every setback into a stepping stone, every wound into a weapon. But envy won't save them. They'll keep trying to stop you, of course. They'll throw everything they have at you, their lies, their schemes, their shallow attempts to control you. But they'll fail, because you've already seen through their games. You've already walked through their fire and come out unscathed. You don't need their world, their rules, their approval. You've built your own, and it's stronger than anything they could ever imagine. They'll never admit it, but they fear you, not because of what you've done, but because of what you represent. You're a reminder that their power is fragile, their control is an illusion, their world is a house of cards. And you're the wind. Let them call you names. Let them spread their lies. Let them paint you as the villain in their story. Because at the end of the day, their opinions are meaningless. The only thing that matters is your truth. And your truth is this: you are unstoppable. You've embraced the darkness, not as something to fear, but as something to harness. You've turned your pain into power, your scars into strength, your failures into fuel. And now you're a force they can't ignore, can't control, can't defeat. They'll try, of course. They'll try to break you, to silence you, to bury you so deep you'll never rise again. But what they don't realize is that you're not just rising, you're ascending. Every step you take, every battle you fight, every victory you claim, it's all leading you to something greater, something they'll never understand. Let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them plot and scheme and try to tear you down, because none of it matters. The only thing that matters is the fire inside you, the one that refuses to die. And that fire, it's burning brighter than ever. This is your time, your story, your reckoning. And oh, what a reckoning it will be. Let them fear you. Let them hate you. Let them try to stop you. Because in the end, nothing and no one can hold you back. You are more than they'll ever understand. You are chaos. You are power. You are inevitable. And you're just getting started.